We've been watching many morning and daily routine videos for several months now. Firstly, because they're fun. Secondly, to improve our own routine and set us up for success. Maybe you want to get your perfect physique, pass your board exam, shoot a YouTube video. All of these are going to depend on how you start your day. If you fail to start your day with the right foot, chances are you're gonna fail to perform optimally for the rest of it as well. So how do you do that? Tip: not with caffeine. The truth is, your successful day actually starts the night before. Right here, when you prepare for the following day. I just took a shower, my wind down time begins in a few minutes, but that should be enough time for me to show this to you guys. Now, it's essential to notice that no single routine is going to work for everyone. A YouTuber entrepreneur's routine is definitely very different than a critical care doctor's routine. Not only that, even your own routine might not work for you every day. But with a little bit of physiology knowledge, we're gonna design the perfect one for us and try to follow every day as best as we can. Just remember that sometimes life happens and you have to adapt on the go. Seriously, don't believe those morning routine videos you see on YouTube. Most of them are fake. There are 3 pillars you have to prioritize on your schedule: sleep, nutrition, and exercise. There is no amount of caffeine or any other nootropic that can compensate for a lack in one of these pillars. And here comes the tool that I use the most for an easy organization system. I use Google Calendar. How are we gonna do this? First of all, we have to fill it with our mandatory activities. Let's suppose you have class from 8 to 4. This is fixed. There's nothing you can do about it. Let's call this class or work or whatever you want to call it. You can change the colors if you want. Let's keep it, yeah, we can keep it as red. And maybe you should probably add like 30 minutes of commute. So I'm gonna stretch this out from 7:30 to 4:30. All right, now let's put one of the pillars: sleep. We hear very often that we can't sleep 8 hours a day if you want to be successful. That is and on average, that's usually what you need to perform optimally during the day. Some days you can do less, some days you can do a little bit more. It depends on your schedule. And generally, during the week, I try to do from 7 to 8 hours. I'm gonna say 7 here. I wake up at 4, and to wake up at 4, I have to go to bed at 9. So at 9, I'm sleeping. Let's change the color to a soothing color, a light blue. I wake up at 4. Here, I'm just gonna say wake up. Same color. I just leave this from 4 to 5 because I'll have breakfast and do other things I have to do in the morning. 5 to, I'm gonna say from 5 to 7 because it's probably gonna be, I have to go to the gym. It's probably gonna be 45 minutes of weightlifting, then 15 to 20 minutes of cardio. I have to go back, take a shower, have my second breakfast, and there is an extra 30 minutes here that I can do whatever I want with it. It's always good to have some free time because some of the activities you put on your schedule might take a little bit longer to finish. And also, I forgot to add here wind down time. Here, I probably shouldn't do anything very exciting. Although my schedule is very flexible, I try and conciliate it with my wife's crazy schedule. So that's the reason I wake up at 4 and go to the gym at 5 before she heads to the hospital. But honestly, I prefer going in the afternoon after I had a few meals in. Okay, so the third pillar would be nutrition. I'm not sure if you follow a specific protocol, like a fasting protocol, but it doesn't matter how many times you eat a day. But the thing is, if you prepare all your meals beforehand, on the night before, it's much more likely that you'll be able to follow your plan. But nutrition is really one of the hardest parts to prepare for, in my opinion. But I keep things simple. I create my diet on MyFitnessPal and give myself probably 2 options of meals for breakfast, for lunch, dinner, etc. So I can alternate them during the week. And one of the most important things here is water. Most people neglect the power of water. If you're doing everything correctly, if you're sleeping well, your diet's on point, you're training hard, and you're still tired, not able to build muscle or burn fat, you feel sick from time to time, chances are you're not drinking enough water. And how much is enough? I'm glad you asked. On average, for physically active girls, I recommend 3 liters of water or 100 ounces. And for guys, 4 liters, a little bit over a gallon at least, but that should be enough. We can see here that there is a little bit of free time from 5:30 to 8 p.m. We can do with this whatever we want. So you can study a new language for 30 minutes, you can practice a musical instrument, you can play video games and hang out with your friends. Alright, this is basically it, but there are a few more rules that I want to talk to you about. But let's go to bed first and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Top rules for a perfect night routine. Don't need exercise or use electronic devices too close to your bedtime. This is the wind down time, and although we set it for 1 hour, the longer you're able to do it, the better your sleep's gonna be. I know this is not always possible, and if it's absolutely necessary for you to do any of these activities, try to do a lighter version of them. For example, instead of going to a Brazilian steakhouse 30 minutes before your bedtime, you can have some eggs, complex carbs, and a little bit of fat. That's alright. If you have to use your phone, your tablet, or your computer, turn on the night mode and lessen the blue light exposure. The blue light inhibits your melatonin release, and that's gonna be trouble for your sleep as well. Top rules for a perfect morning routine. Don't use social media or other hyper-dopaminergic activities in the morning. Look, dopamine is a very powerful neurotransmitter that makes the feeling of anticipation and reward so good. If you wake up in the morning and check your social media with all those hundreds of notification alerts, your brain instantly gets very excited to know what's going on. Who liked your video? Who shared your post? How many people did? And after that, any other activity of the day will not be able to compete with that amount of dopamine, meaning you'll have a harder time focusing on more important tasks. Therefore, do all your boring chores, work, and things you gotta do before the things you really want to do. Try to prioritize your day from incredibly boring to watching my YouTube channel. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Top rules for a perfect day routine, midday routine, daily routine, however you want it. Okay, so this part is tricky because my daily activities are probably very different than yours and then Natalia's, my wife. If you are going to do something very mentally challenging, like studying, for example, you should set around 2 to 4 1-hour blocks of intense work/studying time with 15 minutes breaks between them, and use these breaks to do something that has to be done but that is not as mentally challenging, such as groceries, laundry, check out a few items off your to-do list, which by the way I use Microsoft To Do and I love it. Have lunch. It's very unlikely that you'll be able to focus as hard for more than 4 hours. If your daily tasks are not as demanding, you definitely can go over 4 hours. For example, editing a video, it takes time and you definitely get tired after 4 hours, but I don't have to think that much. And notice that while we know that we cannot be as productive if we work on something for 8, 10, or even more than 12 hours, sometimes we have to put in the work, put in the time, and push ourselves against our own physiology. It's not sustainable. The cost benefit of doing so is terrible, but in some periods of your life, it's necessary. And finally, Do as much as you can to reduce friction with everything you planned for the day. It's much easier to go to the gym if your sneakers, gym clothes, and protein shake are ready the night before. It's also easier to follow a diet if you cook in advance, and so on and so forth. On Sunday, at the end of the week, or should I say at the beginning, you should review what went right and what didn't, and adjust accordingly. After you give this video a thumbs up, go do what you came here for, and I'll do the same. Let's start working on our best selves. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Let's go.